23 years ago, Big Brother started as a very simple and straightforward game. Each week, there was one HOH, the HOH would nominate 2 players for eviction, and then the rest of the house would vote one of those players out. But naturally, as time progressed, the game developed. The showrunners tinkered with the format, they added in the power of veto, and they even had the idea to cast ex-lovers on a season to spicing up the drama, and it was working. The show felt fresh every season due to these extra changes, but eventually, things got a little bit out of hand. The twist started getting crazier and crazier. Then the twist started turning into powers, and then some of the powers ended up being way too powerful. What once was a fun format change to raise interest in a season eventually turned into a strategy-killing mess that completely upended the integrity of the game. As with any preseason of Big Brother, I'm already speculating on what new crazy twist the producers have in store for us, so on that note, I thought it might be fun to look back at some of the craziest twists of the past. These are the most overpowered twists in Big Brother history.
Oh, come on. Is this real or what? Congratulations, Jeff. You have been selected by America to receive the special mystery power. The power of... what? Coup d'etat?
Coup d'etat.
Okay, let me start over.
Alright, so right off the bat, I am going to establish that there will be powers on this list. I know there is a distinction between what a twist is and what a power is, but powers usually are the product of twists, and I don't think it's going to make anybody that upset that I'm not drawing a line here. However, for consistency, I'll meet you halfway. So, for the first few spots on this list, we are going to be talking about some of the powers from both the Den of Temptation from Big Brother 19 and the BB App Store from Big Brother 20. Both of these twists basically acted as the same thing. The viewers would vote for their favorite player in each of the first 3 weeks, and that player would then receive some sort of power or advantage from either the Den or the App Store. What makes these twists so overpowered is that most of these powers given out were super damn good. In Big Brother 19, with Paul being the sole returning player in a cast full of newbies, it was pretty obvious that the audience was going to vote for Paul to receive the first power, and that was exactly what happened. Paul received the first temptation, and it is far and away the single most busted advantage in the US version of the show. Paul received the Pendant of Protection, which literally just kept him safe for the first 3 weeks. Just 3 weeks of immunity to start the game out. It really doesn't get more busted than that, although to be fair, it's not so much of a power as it is just straight up immunity. However, by having 3 weeks of guaranteed safety, it allows you to make moves without fear of it blowing up in your face and sending you home. And it did save Paul from being nominated in week 1 by Cody, so I do think it is deserving to be on this list.
House guests, prepare to be tempted like never before. The Den of Temptation. Each week, America will vote to tempt one house guest inside the den.
This looks like my bedroom. Congratulations, Paul. America has chosen to tempt you with the Pendant of Protection. Accept this temptation and the pendant will protect you at the next 3 evictions? Holy. That means you can't be nominated or evicted.
3 weeks of safety? That's like a mini vacation in the Big Brother house.
My replacement nominee, Paul.
What is that?
The pendant keeps me safe for the next 3 evictions, therefore I cannot be nominated.
Another broken power from this category of twists is the bonus life app from the BB App Store in Big Brother 20. Sam was deemed to be the most trending house guest in week 1 and therefore was able to choose a power app, in which she chose the bonus life. This power allowed Sam to give one of the first 3 evicted house guests a chance at returning to the game. However, if Sam chose to not use this power within the first 3 weeks, then the power would automatically be used on the house guest evicted in week 4. This power is super powerful because A, if Sam was ever evicted in the first 3 weeks, she could give herself a chance at coming back. B, if a super close ally of Sam's was evicted, she could give them the opportunity to come back. C, the competition to come back ended up being a pretty easy puzzle with a very generous time limit. And D, if a player won the bonus life competition to re-enter the game, they would also be given 1 week of immunity. So overall, this is an extremely advantageous power to have, as it is not only an extra cushion to not being evicted in the early stages of the game, but it also had extra benefits in the sense of an additional week of safety if the challenge was successfully completed, as well as being able to use it if one of your closest allies were to be evicted. Now, obviously, we saw none of this actually come into play as Sam never needed to use it. It was automatically used on Caitlyn in week 4, and Caitlyn actually ended up failing the puzzle, but on paper, this was a really powerful tool that had loads of benefits to it, so it lands on this list.
Access granted.
That's so cool.
Congratulations, you are the top trending house guest.
Why? It's bizarre. Bonus life sounds the best to me for the whole length of how long I'm going to be here. Bonus life. This power gives you or the house guest of your choosing the chance to return to the game if evicted. If the bonus life is not used, the 4th person evicted automatically gets a chance to return to the game. It is time for me to come clean about a secret. I got the first power app. Since I did not use it and I let it expire, it is automatically offered at this eviction. Whoever is evicted has a chance to come back to the house.
3, 2, 1.
Now, those were just 2 of the 6 powers given out by the Den in the App Store, but the other powers were also really good and deserving of a mention. Jessica received the Halting Hex, which actually just let her cancel an entire eviction. Tyler received the Cloud app, which would give him immunity at any one nomination ceremony or veto meeting, so it was basically like a hidden immunity idol. Bailey received the Identity Theft power, which would have let her secretly take over the HOH's power in the beginning of the week and let her make the initial nominations. And Christmas received the Ring of Replacement, which allowed her to swap herself with one of the 3 house guests randomly selected to play in the veto. Okay, Christmas's power actually kinda sucked, but the other 3 were really good, so overall, I'd say both the Den of Temptation and the BB App Store were very overpowered twists for the sole reason of how many ridiculous powers they gave out.
I got a power app, and it's the last one! Yes!
Moving along, Big Brother 15 tried to spicing up the age-old formula of having just 2 nominees by adding in an additional 3rd nominee for the first 6 rounds. However, the way in which they decided on who the 3rd nominee would be was absolutely broken. So up next, I have the MVP twist. The way that the MVP twist worked was that each week, America could vote on a house guest who they wanted to be the MVP. The player with the most votes would then become the MVP, and they would secretly have the power to name a 3rd nominee. And if that player came off the block due to the veto, then they would also get to pick the replacement nominee. Right off the bat, this seems pretty overpowered since it basically gives you half of the HOH's power and there's nothing that anybody can do about it. But what makes it even more absurd is that there was no limit to how many times you could win the MVP. So, if there was one clear standout favorite house guest in the house, then America could vote for that person to win the MVP every single week. And guess what? One of the house guests, Alyssa, was the sister of former winner and fan favorite Rachel Riley. So of course, Alyssa was a standout and won the MVP every week it was available. And here, it showed just how powerful the MVP twist was, because Alyssa was the target and on the block in both weeks 1 and 2. But because she was the MVP, she was able to secretly nominate a 3rd house guest next to her that was slightly more threatening, and it allowed her to narrowly survive the block both times. What's funny is that from weeks 4 to 6, they actually changed the MVP rule so that now whoever America voted for would just be the 3rd nominee instead of being the MVP, but the viewers must not have been listening because they accidentally voted for and therefore nominated Alyssa in week 4. Anyways, this twist was just extremely busted, and due to the fact that there was no limit for however many times you could win the MVP power, it makes it on this list.
Shut up. Congratulations, America has chosen you as the Big Brother MVP for the week. You have the power to secretly nominate a 3rd house guest for eviction. Thank you so much, America. I've never won anything in my life, ever, and I feel so thankful, and I just hope I make the right nomination.
Oh. David, you are the first house guest evicted from Big Brother.
Shut up! Congratulations, America has chosen you as the Big Brother MVP for the week. America, thank you so much. As long as you guys like watching me, I'm doing this for you.
Nick, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations, America has chosen you as the Big Brother MVP for the week. To be nominated 3 times in a row for the MVP is the best feeling.
Every week this summer, you at home have been voting for the Big Brother MVP, but this coming week, it's you, America.
You're the MVP now, America. Who do you think should be the 3rd nominee?
Alyssa, the MVP has chosen you as the 3rd nominee.
I thought she was the MVP. I don't know what to think.
Next up, not only do we have one of the coolest powers given out, but also one of the prettiest, and that's the Diamond Power of Veto. The Diamond Power of Veto acts similar to the traditional Golden Power of Veto, as it allows the holder to remove one of the players from the block, but it goes a step above the Golden Power of Veto because the Diamond Power of Veto also lets the holder name the replacement nominee as opposed to the HOH. The reason that this twist is so overpowered is that it strips the HOH of their power when it matters the most. Not only are you already taking off one of the HOH's nominees, but by naming the replacement nominee, you are dictating how the week will end as opposed to the HOH. You have the power to put up the HOH's closest ally, and there's not a thing that they can do, which makes this twist pretty broken. The Diamond Power of Veto has been featured on 3 seasons of Big Brother, however, only one of them was actually overpowered. It was first introduced at the Final 4 of Big Brother 4, but due to the nature of how the Final 4 round works, it basically acted as a normal veto. Like, yes, technically the winner of it would choose who the replacement nominee would be, but there's only ever going to be one option to be nominated if the veto is used at the Final 4, so this Diamond Power of Veto is really just a normal veto. The Diamond Power of Veto was then brought back for Big Brother 12 through the Pandora's Box twist. Matt received this veto while he was the HOH, and he got to secretly keep it through the next 2 evictions. And thank goodness he had it for the prior week, because he needed it. Brendan was the HOH, and that ended up being the backdoor target. Come eviction night, Matt was on the block alongside Lane, and he looked like he was about to be evicted. However, Matt was able to pull out his Diamond Power of Veto to not only remove himself from the block, but also name the replacement nominee. Instead of going for a huge power move, Matt ultimately ended up naming Kathy as his replacement, and Kathy was unanimously sent home. Overall, this power was broken because A, it saved Matt in the game, and B, it totally trivialized Brendan's HOH reign as his intended target survived and it showed his cards to the house.
Behold the Diamond Power of Veto, the most coveted veto in all of Big Brother. Congratulations, you now possess the Diamond Power of Veto. This veto not only gives you the ability to save yourself or someone else from the block, it also gives you the power to name their replacement nominee. It just guarantees me that safety for generally 2 weeks. I get this week, I get next week with nothing to worry about, and not only that, I basically pick and choose who goes home. I totally run this place like always. All right, Brendan, it's no secret, I've been on your radar. Either way, neither here nor there, because here I sit on the block like a chump. For that, Brendan, I say congratulations. Congratulations on coming so close to achieving your goal. But better luck next time, you big dummy, because I'm gonna use the Diamond Power of Veto tonight to save myself.
This special veto also gives him the power to name the replacement nominee.
Well, this is obviously the worst part of doing this because the only one that I want up here I can't put up. Kat, I'm so sorry. Nothing personal. Got a job to do.
Kathy, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Now, the Diamond Power of Veto did return once more in Big Brother 21, however, it was a bit more refined. Christy had won the Panic Power in Week 3, which allowed her to anonymously upgrade any 1 week's veto into the Diamond Power of Veto, so whoever won the veto that week could also name the replacement nominee. However, this power ended up going unused. Overall, the Diamond Power of Veto is an example of how such a little change can affect the game in a very large way. The veto is a staple of the Big Brother, but once you let the veto winner choose the replacement nominee instead of the HOH, it can heavily shake up the balance of the game.
You have now earned the Panic Power! This power will send everyone at the veto meeting into a panic because you now have the ability to turn the Golden Power of Veto into the Diamond Power of Veto! I don't know what this power is, but knowing Big Brother, I'm sure it's something really good.
And now, if you're a fan of Big Brother, you probably have a pretty good idea of what the most overpowered twist is, so let's not mess around any longer and we can close things off with a bang. The single most overpowered twist in all of Big Brother is by far the power of Coup d'etat. The coup d'etat was a power that basically allowed the owner to completely overthrow the HOH for the week and take over control. Right before an eviction would take place, the holder of the coup d'etat could halt the eviction, take one or both of the nominees off the block, replace the nominees with any players of their own choosing outside of the HOH and veto holder, and then the eviction would carry out with the new nominees. In other words, this was the equivalent to having 2 diamond power of vetoes at the same time. This power renders that week's HOH completely useless. It gives the holder total control of what happens for the week, and since the power is used at an eviction, it gives the new nominees no chance at saving themselves with the veto. The coup d'etat has shown up in 2 seasons of Big Brother, and it was first introduced in Big Brother 7. In week 6 of Big Brother 7, all of the house guests were given clues to solve a riddle, and whoever solved it first would be given a secret mystery power, which was of course the coup d'etat. Mike Boogie was the eventual winner of the coup d'etat, and he was told that he only had 3 weeks to use it. However, he never ended up needing it. Boogie found himself in a good spot the first 2 weeks he had it, and then in the 3rd week, he ended up winning the HOH, so the power went unused. But the producers wouldn't want such a game-changing power to go fully to waste, so they decided to bring it back a few seasons later. Naturally, you'd think that there would be some brutal competition or massive sacrifice needed in order to earn such a godly power, but no. In Big Brother 11, during week 4, there was a fan vote held to determine which house guests would receive the coup d'etat. Jeff and Jordan were far and away the fan favorites at the time, so Jeff was informed in the diary room that he had in fact received the power of coup d'etat. Unlike Boogie, Jeff actually found himself in a position where he could greatly benefit his game by using it, so he did. Up to this point, Jeff's side of the house had taken hit after hit, and he was down to just a few numbers compared to the other side of the house, so he knew he needed to make a big move. Shima had won the HOH in week 6 and had nominated Lydia and Russell for eviction. Russell was her intended target, and once he didn't win the veto, it was pretty much a guarantee that he would go home. But come eviction night, everything changed. Right before the house guests were to cast their votes for eviction, Jeff stood up and used the power of coup d'etat. Jeff took both Natalie and Russell off the block, and he replaced them with Natalie and Jesse, who happened to not just be 2 of Shima's closest allies, but Jesse also happened to be the ringleader of that side of the house, and he was the main power player of the season. But in the end, it didn't matter how much power Jesse had, because now he was on the block and he no longer had the voting majority, so by the end of the night, he was evicted. Jesse's side was completely dominating Big Brother 11, but the coup d'etat allowed Jeff to completely flip the script and take him out during a week where he should have been completely safe. Due to the fact that this power practically makes you the HOH for the week just moments before the eviction, it goes here as the most overpowered twist of all time.
For the past week, you, America, have been voting to give one house guest the coup d'etat, a special power that allows that person to overthrow the head of household and change their nominations on the spot.
Oh, come on. Is this real or what? Congratulations, Jeff. You have been selected by America to receive the power of... what? Coup d'etat?
Coup d'etat.
Okay, let me start over. Obviously, you guys see what's going on out there, and you guys are trying to help me out, so I'm going to make the best of it to turn this house upside down, and I love it.
If the holder of the mystery power would like to use it, please stand now.
I knew it.
America has granted Jeff the mystery power, and he has decided to use it. Jeff has the ability to overthrow the head of household and change one or both of her nominees. Would you like to take Lydia off the block?
I would like to take Lydia off the block.
Who would you like to put in her place?
Natalie.
Would you like to take Russell off the block?
I would.
Russell, come on off. Who would you like to put up in his place?
Sorry, buddy.
By a vote of 3 to 2, Jesse, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
And there we go. Not every twister power is created equally, as I'm sure you can see from this video. I'm all for Big Brother experimenting on ways to shake up the game, but I'll admit, just voting in powers can sometimes get a bit monotonous, and it can oftentimes completely uproot the integrity of the early game. Sometimes it's nice to have a big shakeup, but sometimes it's nice to just let the players play. Twists are always going to be a controversial subject, and I don't see them leaving anytime soon, so it's probably just best to sit back and hope that whatever the new twist may be, that it please not send our favorites home. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I, of course, need to give that extra special shout out to all of my YouTube members who are the only prospective players that I would be okay with receiving a completely overpowered twist. And, as always, here's a clip for you on your way out.
Oh. What? Yeah, I was so confused of what happened. I didn't have a clue what was going on. I feel like I'm the most likable guy in the house, and I was pissed off.